I'm doing Australia. This is the official link. Australia actually doesn't have an official website, so I just use their prime ministers. For the Australian history after World War II, Australia embarked on a transformative journey. The government initiated large-scale immigration programs, welcoming over 2 million people between 1948 and the late 1970s, primarily from Europe. This influx aimed to boost the workforce and foster economic growth, leading to a multicultural society. Economically, the nation shifted from a primarily agrarian economy to an industrialized one, with significant investments in manufacturing and infrastructure. The period also saw the rise of the welfare state, introducing comprehensive health and education systems. Politically, the era was marked by stability under the Liberal Party's leadership, particularly under Prime Minister Robert Menzies. The 1967 referendum was a pivotal movement, enabling the federal government to legislate for Indigenous Australians and include them in the census. Political regime. Australia operates as a federal parliamentary democracy and constitutional monarchy. The British monarch actually serves as the ceremonial head of state for Australia, represented locally by the Governor-General. The government is divided into 3 branches: the legislative, executive, and judiciary. For the legislative, they're a bicameral parliament, comprising the House of Representatives and the Senate. For the executive, they're led by the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, and the judiciary is independent courts interpreting and applying the law. They also have, their voting age is at 18, and you're required by law to vote in federal and state elections. This structure ensures a balance of power and upholds their democratic principles. Political conflict and competition. The political landscape is dominated by 2 major parties: the Australian Labor Party, or the ALP, which is centered to left wing, advocating usually for social justice and workers' rights, or the Liberal National Coalition, which is centered to right wing, focusing on free market policies and traditional values. Recent developments include the 2025 federal election, where the ALP, or Australian Labor Party, secured a significant victory, attributed to effective campaigning and policies addressing cost of living concerns. Conversely, though, the coalition faced internal divisions, notably the split between the Liberal and National parties over policy disagreements, including energy strategies. Society. Australia is renowned for its multicultural society. As of 2025, approximately 31% of the population is born overseas, reflecting a diverse cultural tapestry. The nation emphasizes values such as freedom, respect, and equality. They also have a very fair-go and laid-back lifestyle, and Indigenous Australians, the original inhabitants, continue to play a vital role in the nation's identity. Efforts towards reuniting and recognition of their rights remain ongoing. Urban centers like Sydney and Melbourne are cultural hubs offering vibrant art scenes, culinary diversity, and inclusive communities. And here's a table of the top 5 countries of birth, excluding Australia, so all the immigrants, and this was in 2021. Political economy. Australia boasts a robust and diverse economy. Key sectors include mining, a significant contributor, especially in iron ore and coal exports, services, which encompasses things like finance, education, and tourism, and agriculture, producing commodities like wheat and beef. Some of their economic challenges are recent issues include housing affordability, cost of living pressures, and the need for economic diversification. The Reserve Bank of Australia, or the RBA, plays a crucial role in monetary policy, aiming to maintain economic stability. Recent RBA actions include adjusting interest rates in response to global economic conditions. And here is a graph of their top 5 industries and how much revenue they make in millions per year. Here is a map of Australia and their current issues. Australia faces several pressing challenges. Like almost every country that's gone so far, climate change is the top of the list. The nation is experiencing an increased frequency of extreme weather events, including floods and bushfires, necessitating robust environmental policies. housing affordability, a growing population, and limited housing supply have led to rising property prices, impacting affordability. Indigenous rights, ongoing efforts aim to address disparities in health, education, and employment among Indigenous communities. Political dynamics as well. The recent split between the Liberal and National parties has reshaped the political landscape, influencing policy directions and party strategies. And their election was actually earlier this month as well, so it's very recent. And then economic pressures. Rising living costs and economic uncertainties are central concerns for voters in the upcoming elections. And going back to touch on the housing affordability. This whole center of Australia has barely any people living in it. It's pretty uninhabitable. It's almost all over here and up here. So, but yeah, here's my questions.